Hello people, what is going on? Challenge EX coming at you here with another fantastic video update. It's still we're on Dofus port to Unity. I know this is more of a PC thing, but I do feel like this is a big deal just for Dofus in general. Obviously Touch, it's not going through this revamp or this transformation. But I do feel this is a big deal just for the Dofus franchise in general, especially for Dofus the game in general. But so, with that being said, I will touch upon on parts where like it relates to Dofus Touch. But for the most part, we're just gonna touch on the information I gave here, and it's gonna be more of a news video, and I'll give my thoughts here and there. But definitely, it's not going to be like a video prior to this where I give my personal opinions and why I like the character designs. I'll probably touch on it a little bit, but if you guys want to know why I like the character designs, why I understand some of the changes they're making, and why this stuff just happens in games in general, make sure you check out the video. But let's go ahead and dive right in there. Logan and Poppy Knot took over our Twitch channel a few weeks ago for the final live stream of the year, and this came out 1/9. This came out yesterday? No, so the live stream was December 20th, but this blog post was posted yesterday, which is okay, that's interesting. So I thought this was a little bit outdated. It provided a chance to present certain classes, revamp spells, animations, improvement to UI UX, and many other surprises that we'll recap in our article. Also, side note, guys, I am getting over being sick, so my voice might sound a little bit funny. So I might cut off the mic here and there just randomly, just to cough and sneeze, drink some water. So just a little FYI, if that happens, it's just a courtesy thing, because obviously I don't want you guys to hear nasty coughing on your headphones or your speakers and stuff like that. So just bear with me. If it goes silent, that's because I'm drinking, just because that reason. So, and speaking of it, just give me 1 second right here. All right, last time on, in case you missed it, we did an early big presentation of certain topics related to Dofus Unity port at the 2023 Japan Expo. Interfaces, revamped music as an orchestral version, improvements to the game, map system, and so on. You can find the full articles here. And I'm just going to skip through this, guys. I'm not going to go really into detail. There's a lot of cool stuff here. Definitely check out the blog here. I'll link it in the description below. I'll try to cover the highlights, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's happening. Presenting the port with an external build. So we decided in this year-end holiday season not to limit ourselves to a perfectly controlled, well-prepared presentation. We wanted to take the risks to show you what Dofus might actually look like in Unity. And I think this is a big keyword here that a lot of people are overlooking. With Dofus being ported over to this new engine, new platform, I think they're taking opportunity to change a couple of things here and there, and yeah, take those risks. One being those character designs, and I find that honestly pretty cool. I mean, you can't have what's that quote go? Is the one about the bold? Luck favors the bold, right? So if you don't take risks, you can't. You can't take chances. You leave things how they are. Things go stale, and eventually it's got to change. So yeah, you do take a risk when you change your stuff. Again, one of the stuff being the characters. But I think this is a good thing to highlight here, that they wanted to take a risk, and I see it, and I think it'll pay off for them too. So. To that end, we produced an experimental build, taking some functionalities from Unity and using Flash for the rest. So it isn't the final version of Dofus Unity, but more of a taste of possibilities. That being said, let's get on to it. When's it supposed to come out though? Let's do away with the question and avoid false suspense. As we've announced before, the Dofus port to Unity is slated for 2024. We won't give specific dates in this article, but it will be shared in the future. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pinpoint like a final date for this, and I think what they're doing here is smart, because if you set a specific date, you set us an expectation for people, and if you miss that date, you know, you set yourself up for disappointment, and I think they know this. You know, what they're doing for Dofus, it's the same thing they did for Touch, where they're literally like recoding the game from the ground up, right, from scratch. So, and with that being said, it's a huge undertaking, and you know, you do have unforeseen kind of hiccups where you know, you can plan all you want, but you can't plan for those like bumps on the road, right? So I know they've been working on this for a while, and you know, people want it as soon as they can, but you know, it's reasonable for them to, like, you know, shoot for 2024 just in general. However, here is the information we'll be able to provide in the live stream. We like to schedule a time once or twice a month to go over one or more super focused topics on Dofus Unity for at least the next 6 months. And this, I like this. I do wish the Dofus Touch team would take a page out of this, and rather than you know, providing just like milestone updates, it's nice to see more consistent updates regarding like the status and the work in progress of the game. It's cool. I like it. I like their approach. The Unity version of Dofus will be rolled out in multiple phases. We'll visit the rollout in the next few weeks. There will also be a lengthy beta phase on par with challenges supporting the game to Unity to take place over several months. Alright, and here we go, folks. Here we go. Oh, I'm gonna have to drink some water for this. Alright, I'm ready. I am ready. Character designs and animation. Graphically revamped characters, but that's not all. We are using the port to Unity. I really want to call the game Dofus Unity, but it's the port to Unity. I mean, technically that's what it is. To do a graphical revamp of your characters. We know this subject is very important to you, and we'll be gradually presenting over the course of live streams your character's new appearances directly in the game. In this live stream, we shine spotlights on Ecaflips, and we also reveal the Saditas and Fargonaut's new look. So again, I'll touch briefly on the characters here. I do think that they could have showcased the characters a little bit more. Not a little bit more. They could have showcased them better. Obviously, because of their the way they're building their characters is very modular. So that's why you get this stance where they're just standing there straight, right? This is very similar to when you have a 3D model and it's just standing right there lifelessly, right? So I get it when people are complaining, it's like, oh, these characters look so stiff, and yeah, I mean, they're literally just standing there doing nothing. So I do hope that they do have idle animations, right? I hope they don't just stand in the game just like this, right? If you click on a cell and they run to it, I hope they don't just go into this what are those British soldier pose, or is it right? I hope they go into an idle pose or something, or have idle animations and just really make them come to life. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, I can see the criticism people are giving these, and they do suffer from the same effects as Wakfu does, because Wakfu has characters like this where they're just standing. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, and we are back. Yeah, just standing there, which yeah, I mean, still images. It just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. Look at that, Fogger Nice. He's got baggy-ish pants over here. Look at that. Always been a big fan of the female Fogger Nice. She looks cool. But yeah, I do hope in the future updates they do showcase these characters equipped with equipment too, because also another thing that people got to keep in mind too is that these are base naked characters, right? These are your level 1 starting out characters. You'll probably only see your character like this when you start the game, like the first 10 minutes, and then you get your incarnate set and you start dressing them up, right? So very, very rarely you're gonna see a character like this, because it's gonna have the hats and capes, shields and stuff like that. So I do hope they showcase these characters with more of the iconic equipment, kind of stuff like the Solomon, the Soft Oak set, the Move set, right? Stuff like that. Kind of showcase what that stuff looks like in this new style. I think that would definitely help. It's kind of ease people a little bit. So thanks to the new technologies we have access to with Unity version, we can consider adding more customization options for characters, including new faces, more color slots, and more. Your characters will ever be more beautiful and unique. Here's the different options, and yeah, this is a very, very good image to showcasing here. Look at all of these different permutations you're getting just from from them building the characters, how they're building them. So much variety, right? I think this looks freaking awesome. I think all these different like head designs and just like little details. I think this looks sweet. Like I don't know. I don't know. People. I mean, another complaint I saw about the characters was like, oh, they don't have as much personality. They don't have enough uniqueness and stuff like that. But honestly, just picture this, right? You're gonna have so much control, so many options regarding your character and how it looks. Like these honestly look like citizens of the world of 12. They don't look like just like base characters. They look like characters that actually live in the world, right? And just imagine like going to like Village Sap. Is that a thing on PC? Right? Village Sap, or that map where people hang out. And it just looks like citizens that live in this world, right? Because everybody just looks so different. Everybody's just got a unique look to them. I'm not a big fan of the Echo Flip. Echo Flip's like, I could say Echo Flip's probably like one of my least favorite classes, just because I'm not into cats or cat people. But I mean, this looks awesome. This looks awesome, and I'm here for it. And you know, if it means losing a little bit of uniqueness to the base character, I'm all for it, right? I'm all for it if we, you know, these guys, you know, they don't look as unique as they used to before, but we get this massive upgrade to the customization. I'm willing to take that trade-off 100%, 100%. But that's just me. That's just me. But yeah, I think these look cool. Like all the variety you could get out of this system they're building. And I you know, this is something I touched upon in the last video, where I expressed my opinions on the characters. But yeah, I think a lot of effort is being put into the character designs, and I do feel a lot of people are getting caught up on the small detail and not seeing the big picture, right? And this is the big picture here, right? Where you're creating so much variation, so many permutations of classes, where like, you know, in my mind, and this is why I never had a big problem with these designs. keep in mind these characters, you know, they're supposed to be citizens, and they're supposed to be, uh, you know, just races that live in this world, and not necessarily like unique looks, right? For example, you know, just because this Echo Flip doesn't look exactly like this Echo Flip doesn't make it any less of an Echo Flip, right? But already we're seeing a lot of customization options here. For example, here this white Echo Flip, you know, he's got like these little like flared out pant legs over here. But this Echo Flip here with the black pants, his pants go all the way to like his shins, right? So that's a little bit different. This Echo Flip has like this little belt thing. This one doesn't. So I think this is what Ankama was shooting for with these new character designs and their approach to these new characters in Unity, because now in Unity you're able to execute on this, or on this sort of system where like the characters are modular. They're kind of like Legos almost, in a way, where you can like mix and match body parts and just create a different variety with just not a whole lot of pieces. And another thing people got to keep in mind, like this is like the first iteration of this too. Like I'm pretty sure this is going to be expanded upon. Cosmetics is going to be a big part of it. It's definitely cosmetics. You know, it's a big part of Dofus Touch, and people love them. People love them. I don't hear a whole lot of complaining about cosmetics on Dofus Touch. I myself purchased cosmetics to make my characters look cool, but yeah. Long story short, yeah. This is why I was never bothered by these new designs. Mainly because I understood what they were trying to get at, and I understood these iterations of the characters are supposed to be different. So yeah, they look freaking cool. They look so cool, and yeah, costumes as well here. We don't have costumes in Dofus Touch, but costumes pretty much alter like a lot of parts of your character, like the shoulder pads and like the torso piece and pants and stuff like that. Even like the legs here. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely think all this stuff looks so cool, and I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for it. Even though, as of now, it's not coming to Touch, but I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it in motion and real time and stuff like that. Give me 1 second. Alright. Animated characters. To go with the new character class appearance, our teams worked hard redoing every single class animation. Many of these were getting old, occasionally based on generic animations, or the same across multiple unrelated spells. From now on, with the joint involvement of the game designers and animators, spell animations will correspond to the spell's special effects. Here's a few examples that were shown during the live stream on 12/20. Keep in mind these versions are non-definitive, but it offers a nice preview of the new classes and animations. Here we got Anaripsa, showcasing some spells. It looks cool. It looks cool, and obviously you can see like where kind of like some of the functionality comes out of building characters like this, where they're just standing, stuff like that. You can see them. They're kind of like they got a skeleton, right? And they're just moving that skeleton around to get this animations onto the character. Very similar to Wakfu, very similar. In an ideal world, obviously these animations would be like hand animated and have like a Disney animation quality, stuff like that. But I mean, for what it is, I think it works fine. I think the real the real thing that shines here are the particle effects, which are hand animated, and they look amazing. I do wish they had like light effects though. That'd be so cool. Like say when this goes off, there's like a pink light. That would be pretty cool. or when you shoot out the spell, there's like a purple light that kind of illuminates like the floor and stuff like that. Might be a little bit too much to ask for, but hey man, that's the power of Unity. That's what you can do. Let's get crazy. But super cool. Winter Trough. You got the mud, got the gold, got the rock, and you got the fire. Super cool. Yeah, now obviously stuff like the shovel here. Let me see if I can stop it. I mean, they have like the blurred frames, right? Like this stuff is hand animated, definitely. Obviously the characters not, because they are skeletal rigs. And Yop over here, ooh, coming in with the fire sword, coming in with the water sword, hitting with the fire sword again, and dead. Body bag right there. I think all this looks cool. I think it really looks awesome. They're doing a fantastic job. Another improvement we added. We've added an animation to characters when they're queued in the world and a combat stance. The same applies to summons, which will not be animated and will also benefit from graphical revamps. Yeah, I hope that means like idle animation. Yeah, like I said, I hope they're just not standing there. I hope they never go into this state where they're just standing there. These characters, you know, how do I want to say this? The characters of the Dofus world are so like lively and animated. So when they're just sitting like that still, it definitely takes away from the appeal. So I get the criticism. Environment and combat maps. So this I'll touch upon briefly. Pretty much, actually I'm surprised PC Dofus didn't have this already. I know in Touch, when you went into tactical mode, it was pretty much a boring brown tile in like a black void, and it was very practical, right? And you know, it is a tactical RPG, but obviously just having you know, the floor just floating in the darkness of a black void is not visually, it's not very appealing or very attractive to showcase the game, which a lot of people did that. That was one of my complaints with Dofus Touch when I was starting to record content with it, and something I did different from other people. And sometimes it sucked, but I, especially in my early videos, I made it a point to showcase the game with tactical mode off, just because if anybody kind of runs into the game, like I want to showcase the game as, you know, I want to showcase the best part of the game, which is like the art. It's like the art style, like this colorful world, right? When people run into a Dofus video, I want them to, like, you know, turn their necks. It's like, oh, what game is this? This looks awesome, right? But you know, most people would do like the tactical mode, and yeah, it didn't do the game any favors. So yeah, so PC Dofus is getting something similar, where, you know, it's a little bit more visually appealing, at the same time a little more functional, where you can focus on the battle map and what's going on in the fight. So that's cool. Give me 1 second. All right, in this section, they talk a lot about like UI, talk about customizing windows and changing the color, stuff like that. This is very PC specific, obviously on Touch. You know, because of the smaller screens. You know, I don't see us getting something like this at any point. So it's got to be more streamlined on Touch. So if you guys are interested in this, feel free to check out this section over here. A milestone, game client performance. Okay, so this might be a little bit important over here. Since the Unity port project was established, we've made improving the game's client performance a central aspect. It's been a recurring concern with the port. We wanted the minimum configuration to be able to run 4 game clients on a lower end PC and computer, as in a desktop PC without a graphics card. So there's still, the takeaway from that little statement right there is like, they're still keeping in mind people running on a bucket pretty much. So if you had a machine that you never upgraded because all you played was Dofus, they're keeping you in mind. So if you have like a 15-year-old PC, you might not have to upgrade. That's if you're running a minimum of 4. If you want to run 8 clients, I don't know about that. In terms of compatibility, the Unity version of Dofus will be compatible with Windows, Mac OS for now. One of our developers is working on a Linux version, and so on. Unity allows us to take full advantage of the graphics card, where Flash did not. Yeah. So this was one of the biggest downsides of Flash, where like it was a resource hog in terms of like the CPU or the RAM or something like that. Like it would just like tap it out just quick. So now, your graphics card is being to use. So what this means is like there's more dedicated resources from your computer to run Dofus, which ideally would make it run a lot more smoother and better. All the graphical improvements we're making are possible without sacrificing performance. If it's desired, these could be disabled in the gain options. Okay, give me 1 second here, guys. Okay, so these frequently asked questions, I'll touch upon a few here, not all of them. So the first one kind of stuck to mind here, and obviously the big elephant in the room. Will Dofus Unity be available on smartphones, tablets, and the Switch? Oh shit. It will eventually come to smartphones and tablets, but we have no plans for a Switch version. Alright, so let's break this down. So I did make a video called Why Dofus Touch Exists. I kind of went into history regarding Dofus Touch and the history of Flash and all that stuff. So if you want a little bit more detail regarding that stuff, check out that video. In short, yeah, I mean, this is a no-brainer that they're going to put this on tablets and smartphones. Unity, a big reason why Unity is such like a great tool is because you could code your game once and export it to different platforms, right? The engine itself knows how to scale to different platforms with minimum effort. Of course, you're gonna have to do some UI UX tweaks and specific to tablets and smartphones. But yeah, I mean, Unity is so versatile and flexible. Like, you just built the game once, right? You built the game once, and you could export it to a lot of platforms, and that's what makes Unity great. This is why a lot of developers use it. It's a no-brainer. The Switch, this kind of makes sense. The Switch is going on its 7th year, I believe. So the Switch is kind of like on its last legs, and its predecessor, it's around the corner. So even though technically they're saying it's not going to be on the Switch, I definitely see it being in whatever the next Switch is. There's no reason why you wouldn't want your game on as many platforms as you can, so you could reach the most amount of people, right? Even the Switch. Let's do a quick search. Let's do a quick search here, guys. Just give me 1 second. Let's go look at the Switch sales numbers. So let's see. By the end of 2022, actually, you know what? Let's put this over here. By the end of 2020, by the end of 2022, Switch became the third best-selling video game console of all time, passing the lifetime sales of PS4 and Game Boy. The sales total as of December 30th, 2023 is 132 million units. Yeah, so why wouldn't you put your game where there's a user base of 132 million people on Earth, right? I think it makes sense that like they're not specifically doing a Switch port just because it's been out for like 7 years, and typically that's like the lifespan of a video game console. But yeah, I mean yeah, so especially like I said, Unity allows them to build into other platforms, so it wouldn't take that much work to put it into Switch anyways. Of course, I'm simplifying, right? But like I said, Unity, people make Switch games in there, so that was another topic I want to touch upon here. A lot of these are just very specific to PC. So, there's another one here. Will we be able to modify a character's build, thin and stocky? This isn't something we study at this point, but we do notice this question coming up regularly, and it's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything stopping them from creating like chunky versions of these characters, like just a whole set of like chunky builds. I think it's just a time thing, time and resource management. I mean, it's doable. It just comes down to if they want to put the effort to it. I think it would be cool. It'd be cool to just add more variety. But again, it takes time, it takes effort, and it's just gonna push the game even more. So give me 1 second, guys. Okay, and I think that was about it here. Fatal blows. Fatal blows are cool. I could see that being a thing more. But yeah, I think that's about. It's pretty much the gist of it, guys. This is another thing here. Any plans for a mode similar to Hero mode in Wakfu? So I believe this is the mode where, with one subscription or with one booster pack subscription, whatever you want to call it, you're able to expand your party to up to 3 characters, right? I'm actually surprised they didn't do this, because they are totally like recoding the game. Like, why would you opt for people running four instances of the game rather than just one, and just have 3 accounts under one client? I thought that was kind of odd. But that is it. There's some people here. These were kind of fun to read through. People's comments here. Any chance Dofus Retro gets a rewrite to a new client as well? Personally, I don't see that happening. I think the whole point of Retro is that it's kind of like self-contained, even to like the Flash kind of feel to it. I mean, the whole point of Retro is like to keep it more or less like unchanged to how it was like back in 2006. So I don't see that happening. Great and honest write-ups talk about Unity. So am I. So am I. This was a good write-up. I liked it. You touch my tralala. That's a funny name. That is a funny name. Love the transparency on this post. It's much appreciated. These look great. Answer most of my questions. I'm now very excited to see how it turns out. So am I. So am I. Whinies. What about people who want to keep playing 2.x Dofus? Retro 2 servers. Hey man, we welcome you with open arms to Dofus Touch. We might not have elotropes or dog people, but we got those baggy pants. Yeah, I mean that is interesting, and yeah, definitely this marks an end of an era, and the start of a new one. Regarding Dofus Touch, I do see this coming, this design aesthetic to Dofus Touch at some point. I don't know when. That's that's totally up in the air, but because all the assets, right, anything new that's going to be put into the game, it's going to be under this direction. And correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, Dofus Touch doesn't really have anything unique to it in regarding art assets. Everything is pulled from the PC counterpart. Even though, you know, there's still a lot to pull from. There's a lot of stuff that's been on PC that's not even remotely on touch. So it might take a while. It might take a while, but yeah, if you miss those old characters, 2.0 characters, check out Dofus Touch. We welcome you to our little awesome community. Freaking love the graphical changes. Characters looking better than those big heads from years ago, and the new fight maps are perfect. Cool, excited. So this guy here, we'll cover this. I feel like this guy and I should be best friends. This guy's asking all the good questions. We'll come back to him. Midnight Sparkle, very excited. I'm very surprised you've upgraded all the gear in the game as well graphically. I doubt I will try out the new server, but I guess for the new players who like to have monopolies. Like I said, not everybody you know, was criticizing the new designs, but there's definitely a lot of people who were. So hello and comma S-Lux Gaming. If you're not familiar with S-Lux Gaming, he's a PC Dofus content creator. Cool guy. Check out his channel. Give me 1 second here. Man, there is definitely a lot more engagement from the English community on PC Dofus. This is actually kind of fun. If they would have posted this, I'm being a little facetious, but honestly, am I? If this was a Dofus Touch update, right? They're doing all this stuff. There probably would have been like three comments and that's it. So I'm enjoying this. I'm here for fun, guys. Hope you guys are too. I recently made 2 videos regarding your live stream and all info available regarding Unity. Although we're happy with most of the new stuff presented, literally all the comments on my videos are negative regarding the character designs. I myself don't like them either, but let's not talk about me for now. Yeah, I mean you're totally in the right to not like them. If I can make a video showing off the character designs and 100% of the comments on the video are positive about Unity but negative about the character design, shouldn't you take this into consideration? That's a valid point. That's a valid point. I think they're pretty much set. To be honest, like they're not gonna like redo all this work. I think like this is what we're getting, pretty much. On the plus side, though, because these are so customizable, I do see, maybe even the Fogger not getting its baggy pants back, right? As I pointed out, some of these pants look different on different characters. So it might be very well that you could customize like the bottom half. Maybe you could just buy pants for your like custom pants for characters and stuff like that. So that's the good thing about these guys. Even if something's not here that they were that you're not seeing, it might be down the line. So where was I? Most of the negative comments are regarding the legs of the characters and the build of them not even looking remotely okay. I just look completely off. It's like people saying new characters have been skipping leg day. Please take a look at the comments community and fix these characters. Yeah, well, my recording just crashed, so that's fun. But yeah, here we are again. Where was I? Yeah, people, criticizing the legs, which is fine. People don't like it. People don't like it. People are still on the legs. And screenshot above, I think everyone's thighs appear proportional to their bodies. It should probably widen the Fogger's boots, though, because it seems like their calves are being compressed a bit too much. That said, all the characters have been very similar, skinny-ish build, which is a little bit odd. I think a lot of people would be happy to get us height and sliders, weight sliders, so we can have more variation on body types built in. Also, we need more fully equipped characters. Few people play the characters naked like this, so it's not like really the best way to present the new designs. Yeah, this is something I brought up. Something 100% I agree with this person. The sliders things would be cool, but that's a good suggestion. I think technically it might be a little bit I don't know, might be a little bit hard, just because like these aren't like 3D meshes where you could just like deform. Like these are actually just like images, like put together like Legos. Actually, if you zoom in closely, you can see like where one part ends and the other one starts. Good idea. Technically, I don't know how feasible it would be. I dig it. I agree with the guy above about the thighs. They are proportioned to the torso and hips. However, the lower legs and arms aren't. The hands in comparison to the feet are larger, and the head's slightly disproportionate to the rest of the body. So it still look like bobblehead twins. I skip arm and leg day at the gym. You can stick a chest on the tween and try to pass it off as an adult character, but they're still twins. Consider the volume of the negative feedback about the character body shapes across all language. Official forums, social medias, any company worth their salt who consult their players, their paying customers for feedback and opinions through research. Possibly post questionnaires. The comment has failed to do this, thus instilling the belief that they don't listen to their customers. Yeah, all the negative stuff is it's valid. Like I said in my video, that might be a little bit too loud. At the end of the day, me personally, I'm not gonna lose any sleep because the characters got skinny legs, they got tiny feet or big heads, but that's just me, right? That's just me. Some people are a little bit more passionate about this than others, and yeah, old valid stuff. Let's keep going. Can I ask if there will be any new game content? Okay. This guy's asking for more options, characters, and they look like bobblehead dolls. I see family consoles. Alright. Some positive, some negative. But let's go back to this guy over here. This guy's got the juice. This guy's got the juice. So this is exciting, really happy with the transparency and haste in keeping the English community up to date. A couple of questions, comments, suggestions based on the facts answers. Very excited to see the first update. Okay, so I know he has some like very interesting, more stuff that pertains to like touch. Why is the hero system for Wakfu not considered right now? Is there something about it that makes it harder for Dofus client? A good question. It's a good question. I don't think, if anything, they would have been able to pull this off with Unity, with more like resources, more power and stuff like that. I don't know if it was an oversight or just that's not something they want to do with PC Dofus. But it was totally in the realm of possibility. Like there was no reason why they can't do it, especially with them literally reprogramming the game from scratch. Let's see. Okay, this is a good question over here. I'm most excited about being able to play on mobile. That would be the best update ever. Since Dofus Touch is already a thing, are there any plans to merge with the live servers? Will it be possible to run multiple characters on mobile? Okay, so let's talk about this question a little bit. Since Dofus Touch is already a thing, is there any plans to merge with the live servers? And the answer is no. This is just, and this actually is a technical problem. Dofus Touch runs on a different platform, which is Java, I believe? Java or HTML5? One of those two. Right, and Dofus Touch now runs on Unity. So this is something I talked about in my Why Does Dofus Touch Exist video. There was never any kind of cross-play or any kind of anything with Dofus Touch from the get just how do I want to say this? There was never any of this because, you know, PC Dofus was made in Flash. Flash has no compatibility in terms of like Apple iPhone stuff. So iPhone can't run Flash stuff. So there was never really any back and forth they could do, even if they wanted to, right? Just technically, it's not feasible. It's like trying to put like an Xbox game into a PS5, right? It's just yeah, they're both game discs, but it's just not gonna read it, right? So will it be possible to run multiple characters on mobile? I don't think it would be. I think it's gonna be similar to how Dofus Touch handles that, where like it's one per app, right? One instance per phone, right? Because that's how the phone runs things. If you happen to have an iPhone and an iPad, right? It's like, oh, you can log your 2 accounts now. Sure, you can run multi-account as long as you have your devices for them. I don't think they're going to consolidate your characters, especially since they don't have like a hero thing going on. Okay, this is another good question over here. Doesn't Kama expect an influx of new returning players once Unity goes live? Is it going to be advertised? Is there anything that players can do to help? This is a really great question. This guy's on point. I don't know who this guy is, or this person, but I like them. They're cool. Yeah, of course, there's going to be an influx of new characters, returning players. I think this update, it's exciting. It's refreshing. I think this is. I think part of the reason why we're getting new character designs is because you can start promoting this game as a a new iteration of the game, right? People look at this like, oh shoot, is that Dofus? Is that what it looks like now? Dang, I remember I used to play it back in the day, right? It looks so different. Like, what happened? Let me go check that out. Right, so they could use this as a kind of like a selling point. It's like, oh, check out this new fresh Dofus, right? It looks different. Check out these effects, these animations, like all these like particle world effects and stuff like that. I think once it comes together, this game's going to showcase very, very well. It's going to be good eye candy for advertisement and for doing like a social media advertisement reels and stuff of that nature. So yeah, I do think a part of the reason why they shifted gears with the character design is just to make it look different, make it look new, make it look unique, and yeah, hopefully it brings in new people too. So let's see, where are we? Give me 1 second, folks. 1 second. Alright, so yeah, I do feel like a lot of people are going to come back to the game just to check out these updates. It's a big update. It's a big update, and it's kind of updates where people like come back, right? It's not like the Dofus. I know I'm hating. It's not like those updates we get on Dofus Touch, where they're kind of like, whatever, right? No, this is a big deal. It's a big deal, and yeah, I hope they go all in terms of advertisement, especially here in the West for the English community. So, is there anything that players can do to help? And I think the big thing players can do is just make content for the game. This is one of my points of contention with Dofus Touch, is that I've been making content for Dofus Touch for like going 3 years now, and I'm still like pretty much the only one doing content, outside of like Risen and a few other people. But it's not like there's like, a huge community of content creators making content for the game. I think part of it is because making content for Dofus Touch, it's really hard. This is why, newsflash, I don't think it's a secret, but this is why, as a partner content creator, Ankama does give us the privilege of using emulators to record content, because there is a lot of hurdles on doing content. Just doing a screen recording on your phone. It's a lot of challenges, right? Honestly, there was one day where I almost quit, because I think I spent like 2 hours recording, and the whole video just crashed. Oh. But yeah, it's like you're running the game on your phone, right? And then you're screen recording. You only can record for so long because it's gonna drain your battery, or your phone's just gonna get overheat. If you want to do VO, you need a. The way I was doing it, I was recording phone video on my iPhone, and I was recording VO on my iPad. And then I would have to go into like some editor program and kind of sync those two up, and then I got to render that video. It was a mess. And the short time I did content for Waven, it was so smooth. It was so simple. I just boot up the game, pop up OBS, and hit record. I could literally take that file and drag it into YouTube, and I was done. So I think people just making content for the game, get it out there. Content creators, it's a force of advertisement. I think the landscape has changed, right? We don't, people don't watch TV anymore. You don't run commercials on Cartoon Network or specific time slots. No, it's like it's all social media, right? So content creators help push the game. They shine light onto the game, stuff like that. So, which, fortunately, just Dofus overall needs for the English side of stuff like that. But this is why a lot of games like take off too, right? The landscape has changed so much that if you don't have content creators making content for your game, that's not a good sign. It really is not a good sign for games. All right. I like to talk about Resident Evil 4 just because I played it recently and I loved it. But the amount of people just making playthroughs, let's plays of that game, speed runs, it's crazy, right? It showed how popular the game was in terms of like the sales numbers and the fan base and stuff like that. So, that's a good way. That is a good way. It's a beginning area tutorial to be adjusted to fit the new style. I think this is pretty obvious that, yeah, I mean, if they're revamping like the whole visual aesthetic of the game, why wouldn't they revamp the tutorial area? Let's see here. I know there was another question here regarding Dofus Touch. Am I not finding it here? Give me 1 second, folks. Give me 1 second. Oh, really? Or was this it? I thought he asked something about Dofus Touch. But again, so obviously, let's talk about Dofus Touch for a minute, for a second. Right? Where does this leave Dofus Touch, right? Obviously, they're doing a mobile app version of this. It's not going to come day one, but at some point, there's, PC Dofus is going to be in the same space as Dofus Touch. I do think Dofus Touch needs to pivot and adjust some stuff in response to this. Otherwise, it's Uncommon's kind of like cannibalizing itself. I think what made Dofus Touch unique and what its selling point was that it was Dofus on your phone with which a touchscreen, right? Thus why it's called Dofus Touch. I think with especially with PC Dofus being on mobile and Wave and coming down the line, that thing that made it unique, it's gonna disappear. Did we run out of? It's gonna disappear, right? Like, yeah, being on the phone with a touchscreen might have been a selling point back in 2016, 17, right? Like, oh, that was neat. Nowadays, that's pretty much the standard, right? That's like saying, oh, check out this game. It's got 3D graphics. It's like, yeah, that's a given, right? So touchscreens, mobile stuff, that stuff's been normalized to the point where like that's expected, right? That's not like a selling point anymore. And the thing is that with Dofus Touch too, right? It doesn't have the same weight or like the same impact as obviously this fleshed out version of it, right? This is like the full Dofus experience. Like, why would you play Dofus Touch? In fact, Dofus Touch is detrimental to you being introduced to the mythos and to the world of the Cosmos, right? The way I see it is that you got Dofus, you got Wafu, you got Wave, you got the trilogy, right? You got the trilogy, and then you got Dofus Touch. Dofus Touch really has no bearing on those three pillars at all. Whatever happens to Dofus Touch, it's irrelevant. You could completely bypass Dofus Touch, and you literally miss out on nothing, right? As opposed if you just stick to Dofus Touch, which this is another point of contention with the game, right? It doesn't offer that unique experience that is different, right? It feels more of a lackluster variation of like the Big Brother than a different experience. So I think them kind of honing in on what exactly is going to make Dofus Touch unique, because they can't ride the train of, oh, it's touchscreen on mobile. No, they can't do it no more. Like that's done. That is, if that was the only thing that made Dofus Touch, then yeah, they are in trouble. That team, because like really, if you had the choice between these two games, right? If you have like the option to go with a fully fleshed game, or like this like weird kind of like offshoot, you're gonna go with the full experience, right? I know. I know there are some technicalities when it comes to like differences and stuff like that. But at the surface level, right? Just as somebody who's like doesn't know anything about this game, right? It's like, why would you play Dofus Touch over this build of the game, right? Dofus Unity. So I think they really need to buckle down and figure out what they want to do with Touch, because yeah, I mean this is gonna cannibalize it. I do see it cannibalizing, especially like it just looks so much better, looks so much cooler. You can do so much with it. It's just like a well fleshed out, expanded experience, and yeah, and it sucks, and it sucks because you know, we are Dofus Touch fans. We play for a reason. My biggest reason, and I've been very vocal about this, is that I could play on my phone. Right, the only reason I did the Dominax quest, because I could literally log on to during my lunch, so I could do my almanacs a daily, right? Because it was right there. It literally took like 30 seconds. But yeah, that was the biggest reason. And if I wanted to, you know, I could play on my phone, or I could play on my bigger screen, which is the iPad, right? That kind of give me 1 second, folks. That kind of how do I want to call it? Player experience, player gaming experience, or flexibility is what made the Switch such a popular device, right? The fact that I could play handheld or I could play on my TV, right? And now PC Dofus is pretty much what Dofus should have been. Dofus Touch should have been. It should have been an extension of PC Dofus on your phone, that you could do stuff on your phone and that affects the stuff you did on PC and vice versa, right? There's none of it. There's no bearing on what happens on Dofus Touch. Right, it like lives. It lives like in its own little bubble, right? As opposed to like Dofus PC Unity, right? They literally. Let me see if I can pop it up here. News maybe. Right, like they literally put out a new Dofus. Like, how cool is that? And we can't even get like the original main story plot Dofus is in our game. Like I said, it's Dofus Touch, as cool as it is, right? It's lacking in a lot of. Here we go. Look at this. This is so cool. It's like they're constantly just adding new updates, constantly just keeping things exciting, keeping things new. That's where Dofus Touch is just like it's. I don't know. Oh, but look at that. Look at that Foggernaut. Where's her baggy pants? Well, what? Is she not a Foggernaut because she doesn't have baggy pants? I'm just messing with you guys. But yeah, so that's my stance, and you know, with the stuff and Dofus Touch, we're like, they really need to, you know, dive into the stuff to make it unique. And to make it a part of the part of the three pillars, right? You know, maybe something I do on Dofus Touch, you know, affects the PC thing, right? It's like, oh, now I have incentive to play both versions, and vice versa, right? Maybe something on Touch. Maybe I got to not transfer, but maybe something on Touch expands, you know, a quest line or the lore in some capacity, where like, oh, I need to play it in order to get like the full content of the lore, the story, or what have you, right? Have them in kind of like this harmonious relationship with one another, as opposed to just having just touch live in a bubble by itself off like in outer space. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about this. Definitely in the comments below. The last video, definitely, you know, some people let their opinions be heard. Some people like the character design. Some people are still very critical of it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are the Dofus Touch players excited for this? I know I am, especially for it coming to mobile. I mean, like I said, the only reason I play Touch over PC is because it was on my phone, right? I don't log onto my PC every day, but I'm on my phone every day, so it made sense at that point. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, and I hope we get some clarity from the Dofus Touch team in regard to, like, are they even concerned about this? Because yeah, I mean, and Kama is no stranger to just canceling games either. So it's happened before where they just shut down services. Alright guys, this has been Challenger EX. Make sure you hit a like for that video. Make sure you leave a comment. Until next time, peace.